we have a new project to work on. Behind me is a pretty much salvaged 2010 John Deere 60s tractor. And what we're gonna do with it, I've been secretly looking for a loader for my neighbor, and he's got a 2010 tractor with no loader. And I had found one in Maryland, but it was like gone before the ad even got posted. So I thought, you know, we paid $1,000 for this thing. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to, it's rough. I'm gonna show you, it's really rough. And the motor's locked up. So we're going to repair the loader first and get new cylinders and new hoses on it. And then we're gonna borrow his tractor and we're gonna bring it back with the loader on it. So how fun will that be? So let me show you kind of what we're gonna do. We're gonna unload it and then I'll kind of give you a walkthrough as well. This tractor has had 60 years of crappy fixes. This we're gonna keep, okay? Maybe, probably. Okay, look at this junk. What were they doing? So we're gonna weld a new bracket on. We're gonna replace this cylinder. Well, we're gonna get this bracket welded. Then on this side for the tilt, they really, I don't even think that's structurally sound, those two brackets against each other like that. We're not gonna do it that way. We're going to take this bracket. Look how much slack there is here. It's just rough. We're gonna take this bracket, we're gonna move it over here, move it high, and we're gonna go from here to probably the highest point on this loader arm. Most likely that's what we're gonna do, because I think that that's going to give us the best tilt and the best structure. So we got to do that. And let me walk around to the other side. Just wait, it gets worse. All these are really good. They all feel very, very, very good. I don't know what this one does, but this one seems kind of locked up. All these hoses are shot. We're gonna get those hoses made. None of these cylinders are John Deere cylinders. There's like everything is jerry rigged. Oh, look at this side. Completely goner. Look at that. Can you see that? It's completely cracked off. The loader arms themselves are not rusted through, like they're stable. But all these brackets that hold these cylinders all have to be re-welded. I'm gonna get like square stock, not square stock, but I'm gonna square pieces of really thick sheet metal, let's call it that, and re-weld those and drill them. And I found a surplus store for hydraulic cylinders. They won't be John Deere's, but they're cheap, and cheap is good. Look at that, how much gaps on that bucket. That's gonna have to be real bracket. That's gonna be cut, and new brackets gonna be welded on that. I'm gonna paint the entire loader arm frame, and then we're going to borrow his tractor and bring him back his own tractor with a loader on it. That'll be fun and rewarding. So, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take the tractor itself with no loader. We're going to get it running. We're going to freshen it up with some paint. You know, I'm not going to go like museum quality, right? It's going to be sold to be used as a farm tractor, and probably replace that seat, get it at least running, operating well, and then we're going to sell it, and we're going to make all of our money back, theoretically, on the tractor itself. Now my neighbor bought theirs for like $4,500, I think. It came with a pretty old bush hog on the back of it, small one, like a 5-footer or a 6-footer. But they paid $4 to $5K for it just like 6 months ago. So I think that the market is there in this area for me to sell this thing and basically have a fun video with a whole lot of YouTube content, and at the same time give them basically a free loader, have fun working on it at the same time, and not lose any money. That's that is a silver lining of what we're trying to do here. So, well, like I said, engine is completely frozen up, and who knows if we're going to be able to unfreeze it. And if we can't unfreeze it, then I'll have to find a salvage motor, because I don't think, or I'll have to like post the tractor for sale for $1,000 with no loader and see if it gets bites, you know. But I don't think we're gonna do that. I think we're either gonna brick that engine loose, or we're gonna replace that engine, and we're gonna fix this right. Like, let me show you one other thing before we start unloading this sucker. Maybe they didn't invent a hole saw back in the 60s. What were they thinking? Seriously, what were they thinking? Anyway, we'll have to weld all that sheet metal back together, shape it, paint it. Looks like we're missing a panel here that goes across, but I'll find one of those on eBay. But overall, as horrible as this tractor really is, I mean, absolutely horrendous, I think we can fix it, and I think it'll be fun fixing it. We got it in the garage. I pushed it in with the skid loader. Had to wait for my dad to come over so he could come over and help me steer. Well, we got it in here. So the plan is this bay, we're gonna put through all the loader work in. So my first order of priority is we're gonna get this loader off of this machine. We're gonna let it roll back out of the garage, and I'm gonna put the tractor itself in this bay, probably tomorrow or the next day once I get some of this junk cleared out. But for today, the biggest thing is I wanna get the loader taken off. And so all that's holding on the loader back here is it goes into this little apparatus on both sides, and there's a bolt that goes through it. I've already removed the bolt just to save time. I'm also using my engine hoist. I'm not recommending that you do this. I'm sorry, my car hoist, because of course it says, you know, not to unevenly load like I'm doing, but this is a very small amount of weight, barely 10% of what the car weight's lifted for, so it's most likely not a problem. We're gonna leave it right about there, I think. Okay, so we're not quite, well, we're out, but let's go a little more. There we go. This one is out of there too. I feel like that should have a longer end on this, but I'll tighten up those brackets, spin them together, maybe with a C-clamp before we reinstall. The next thing that we're gonna do then is I need to come in here, figure out in this menagerie where we're connected. I need to get these hoses undone. It does not appear there's anything holding this in down here. So what I'm gonna do, and it's gonna be kind of difficult, and I need to find pictures online of this, but I'm gonna get a floor jack, and I'm gonna jack the front of this loader up. See if we can get rid of any play. All right, so the most dangerous part about this is that I have to roll the machine backwards, hop on it, and be able to hit the brakes. Because remember, this machine does not run. I guess I could grab it with the skid loader. What's gonna happen is when I pull back, these are gonna get knocked out by the front end. I'm gonna raise the arms all the way up on the lift. And we're gonna secure it from above. In order for me to start working on cutting and grinding some of these brackets, I'm gonna undo the cylinders. We have new cylinders coming from Surplus Center. We've got new cylinders coming, and they're not gonna be as long as these. Not quite as long, because I'm moving the bracket to a better location. Kind of how it was supposed to be. I've marked all of these to remind me how it goes back together. The small hoses here will all be replaced, and I think there's standard, some sort of pipe threading on this, because this looks like, these look like black iron pipe fittings. And I I've got all these marked. These hoses are toast. They'll have to be replaced. That's okay. It's not gritty, but it looks kind of like it might have had water in it as well. We're going to pull the pin here. See if we get a pair of vice grips. All these pins are jacked up, so they'll be replaced with the new cylinders. We've got this out. Next thing we're going to do is try to get this pin out, which looks like to be rusted in place. More water, what a surprise. There we go. Oh, it just broke. Out. Okay. So these pins can't come out. This is dumb. I never thought they were an architect. Sorry, I can't say that word. Alright, we'll soon see what happens when we Yeah, you like that spacing? Jerry rigged 50 years of jerry rigging. I'll probably have to cut that bracket off too. Okay, so we're going to try out this plasma cutter. And I've got to cut off these brackets. I'm going to go real low with this just to kind of play around with it. I'm set on 35 on this setting, which I don't know. It didn't come with like a for 1/8 inch use this, for a 1/2 inch use this type of thing. So we're just gonna see what happens. And we are through it there. We're through it there, and with a little slag. So we're gonna dial it to 38. Alright, so I'm starting to learn. So the book says that you want it in direct contact. And I'm also, the other thing I'm starting to learn here is that you don't want to pull it back. Also, when you feel like sparks are coming at you, it means you're either too far away or you don't have penetration. I remember seeing something in the book about it wanting to shoot through. You want everything to shoot through the metal. So when you see it sparking towards me, it's because I've lifted off too much, and you don't want that. So, but overall, it's very jagged. Here, I'll show you for a minute. That's just technique. Like I've never ever operated a plasma cutter, so this is just me trying to figure out, figure out exactly what it is that I'm doing, and how it operates and everything. So. This is completely me out of the box. Never ran a plasma cutter. Trying to learn this thing. We're going to cut the rest of this off. Now that's actually pretty cool. We're going to go across this right here. Now this material, this is 1/2 inch thick, so I'm gonna crank this up to at least 45. And see, I'm just gonna try to come right off the top. there as if